Revernauts, Chief Engineer Rever, once again looking down at the Reverstan Space Agency. Not much has changed to look at it. However, we do have some more money, right? We are getting to be in pretty good shape. I do want to hold off on spending any money until we know what we need it the most for, right? Because there's going to be some things I know, like the astronaut complex upgrade, where we can only disembark on Kerbin, right? So eventually we're going to want to be able to perform EVAs and place flags in other places. So there's quite a few of those kind of things. So in any event, oops, how do I get out of there? All right, just click. All right, I wanted to show you, I went in and looked at our mission control like I normally do. As much just to save time and make a plan. But let's take a look at our active contracts at this point. The first thing I want to do is get out there and remember the one satellite we had that we had to do the reversing maneuver, and I'm pretty sure that's this one, right? Let's go ahead and get this one. I want to do the burn, I think, now. I was thinking about it since the last episodes and want to just get that one done real quick. So let's jump over to the tracking station. And I know we didn't really just do much in our active contracts, but here he is right here, right? What the heck was his name? Oops. Can we click on him? Yeah, well, there it was. MidOrbSat 3. Yeah, so let's go to MidOrbSat 3 and go ahead and fly. There we go. We're good. We're connected. That's always a good sign. And what I was thinking about is I really don't want to wait. If we look at our Kerbal alarm clock for MidOrbSat 3, we would have to wait like 9 days, right? But I think we can pull this maneuver off. We're still pretty close, right? We're heading this direction. And if we come over like here, say, and add a maneuver, and probably even cut it a little bit closer, you can see down at the bottom when you move it this way. So we got 4 minutes to figure this out, right? And then get in position and go. So let's turn the alarm clock back off again. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to right click and then delete that maneuver. All right, so now let's click on this one. Now what we want to do is burn prograde, right, till we get out to this apoapsis of 47,374. We're somewhere close to that. Now the problem is we're not, and the reason we didn't do this last time, but then I thought about it, it's like, you know what, we can do a maneuver, you know, that's pretty close and might even be able to get us right on it, right? So if you look, our apoapsis now is actually amazingly close, but we're not in the same orbit, right? Our apoapsis is over here. Well, what we can do is burn what they call anti-radial probably. And that's going to like push us and readjust this orbit. So I'm going to come over here. This is the anti-radial button and push on this. Now it's a little bit expensive, but do you see the way that just pulled our thing over, our orbit and apoapsis over? So I'm going to click on this. Oops. Let's adjust fine tune a little bit more. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, let's go back here just a little bit. There we go. Now, we're a little tiny bit high, so we can probably hit the retrograde a little bit. There you go. That's about as close as we're going to get. So see that? We got that to work. So let's get the flight engineer out of the way for a second and come over here. And we're going to cancel these maneuvers, right? And we're going to execute this one. Whoa, what happened? To execute this maneuver node right here. Why is it saying 28 days? Something's not picking up right? All right, let's try this again. Yeah, there we go. So now let's add a maneuver, a little bit more than 1 minute, right? And we're going to burn prograde. Get out. Ooh, too far. We're going to burn anti-normal and swing that guy around. Oops, a little bit too far. Oop, a little too far the other way. I have a feeling we're going to need to use the fine tuning again. Oh, that's pretty close. All right, now we want to burn a little more prograde, right? We want to be at 47 here. All right, now let's use this again. 47.3, right? Be close enough. There you go. And let's do a little bit more of this. Now you have to watch when you do burn these other things. It'll change your number there just a little bit, right? There we go. All right, so like execute. There you go, 1 minute. All right, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's because we deleted them in a funny order or something like that, or still had this up. But there we go. We're pointing right at it. Let's take a look. And let me know if you guys want to see it in this mode. It doesn't really make too much difference, especially when we're, you know, when I'm doing it this way. So there you go. So see prograde, if you remember looking at our map, you know, like will be this way. So that's good. And I guess we should probably fast forward a little bit. It's going to be a 52-second burn, which is, there you go. So now, yeah, there you go. All right, good long burn. So let's switch back into this mode. See our orbit grow. Now we have too many orbits. Let's probably just remember to hit F8. Yeah, that makes it a little bit less of a mess, right? So this should get us, I bet you we can get this contract, because they're not that exacting with their contracts. And we're awful close to the periapsis now. If we have to do another adjustment, we'll just have to do another adjustment. I think this will get us there, more or less. Let's see what happens. How much delta V? Still in good shape with lots. There we go. Look, we got, you know, that contract was good when you got that thing going. when you don't have the orbital circle there. There we go. Yep, we got the contract completed. Good. 160 grand. That's no joke, is it? Good. So we got that one done. Now, I want to be a little bit quick about things. Now let's just, I want to come back in here and MIMSAT2. I don't know that we want to be pointing at MIMSAT2, but mid-orbsat2. Let's see, can we put this to mid? Yes, I think some of the problem we have is that we need better antennas on the other satellites we have, which is a reason I want to do one of the next things I want to do. But let's do mid-orbsat1. I think that's one of the ones that has, and then I just want to do one last thing, which is, active vessel. So hopefully this guy will act as a relay, because I want to get our relay system a little bit better. I know it's a complete mess in some ways, but there we go. So I'm happy with this. Let's go back to the tracking station. So now another one of the things that we have, and is going to be a contract for, this is one of the ones I just accepted to get a few extra bucks. Position MoonSat-1 in an adjusted orbit of the moon, right? So let's go and go to MoonSat-1. Zoom in on him. And this red one is a new contract. The one that we accepted is this Apple App Currington here. Yeah, let's open that back. It doesn't really tell you, does it? It would be nice if they told you who gave you that. But it looks like we should be able to just zap into a new orbit of this guy, right? We are, here, let's turn off. Yeah, toggle relays. This is a probe, right? Yeah, we don't want to turn ourselves off. But we are Moonsat 1 here, right? So we want to get into this blue orbit. So let's go ahead and fly with Moonsat 1 at that point. Now another mistake we might have just made is that we might not be able to, yeah, so this guy only has the one little antenna, which is okay for the moon, but I think it's messing us up, or will mess us up. We need to get some better antennas on some relay vessels. All right, so let's go jump over to here and see what we can't do. Okay, so now I think they say that you should do your ascending node first, but we're like right here, right? So what we want to do is we want to burn at this point, right? And we want to get this inclination till it's basically on the equator. So we're going to burn up, right? No, that's not quite. Now let's come back over here. And then if we do this, it'll tell us our inclination, right? So we're going to burn up 6, 5, 4, 2. Can we get to 0? But I think it said 0.3, right? There we go. So now at the same time, we could probably adjust it even further, right? Like we can do, yep, that's the other way. We might be trying to get too fancy. Yeah, so we're trying to get a little bit too fancy on this, but let's burn a little bit of retrograde while we're at it, right? Oop, that's too much power on that thing. See how that gets us a little bit closer in on there? Like we might even be able to, you know, to fuddle this guy around. Now we don't, how much time do, oh, we gotta go. All right, no, that's good enough of a maneuver. Let's come over here and execute. Yeah, fortunately he moves around quickly because we don't miss this. If we had more time, but you see how that little adjustment will get us a little closer to where we want to be. If that makes sense. We're pulling it in a little bit closer to where it needs to be. Hopefully we're not hitting the backside of the plane. There we go. Yeah, so now what we want to do is plan another maneuver. How is our alarm clock doing on our other things? MIMSAT 2, no problem. We got 1 day for that. So generally speaking, we want to go to this blue. So you want to be on the opposite side of the planet, right? When you burn, will be the most efficient. So if we were to burn, let's see, if we drew a line, probably like right in this neighborhood, I think. Right, and then we'll, let's see, we're a little bit, yeah, we need to burn prograde. Yeah, let's take this down a bit and just, yeah, and see how it's pulling it out that way, but we can again do our little anti-normal trick, or axial, I mean. See how we're spinning that around? There we go. And then we can, what do they want us to be at? They want us to be at 186.9. So let's go back over to here and do 186, oops. 186.9. Oops, too much. That's pretty darn close right there. All right, so let's tell them to execute that maneuver. 27 minutes, so it's probably worth fast forwarding. Let's do, yeah, we got a maneuver node, so it should slow us down. All right, and then we'll have to burn again when we get onto the other side, which I guess we could have, oh yeah. Yeah, we will have a connection, I hope. Yeah, let's hope so. Eventually we'll lose our connection here. Yeah, no, don't set that as target. All right, and now let's fast forward till we get up to that. Be like an episode of Maneuverings, right? And it's a 6-second burn. So we can take it right on down pretty close. There we go. Yep, and we have no connection. But because we scheduled this ahead of time, we shouldn't have a problem. I like the way this works out. I'm sure that's, you know, pretty similar to what you would do in real life. All right, so are we right on that? Pretty much. And once again, we want to burn a little bit prograde to get up to 64,800. Turn that down a little bit. That's as close as we're probably going to need to get. All right, and then execute that next one. Oh, okay, we got to get out of, yeah, so let's fast forward sort of gingerly until we get a connection back here, which will hopefully happen really soon. Oh, look, we do have a relay from the guy on the moon. There we go. Let's slow down for a second and now hit execute. There you go. And then we got our alarm. And we could do 100 times. And that should get us some more money. I think whatever they gave us in ahead of time, like 19,000 plus another 49,000, I think it was 50 grand. All right, so let's fast forward and let him get moved over just so that we don't get caught off. And we'll get this down. How many seconds? 0.8 seconds. Yeah, you know what? We don't. Get them right on down to, I don't know, 20 seconds. There we go. Yep, 10 seconds to the maneuver. And let's take a look at this guy. Since, again, let me know if you want me to see it. You know, can we? Is it more interesting to you? There you go. So now, let's go back to this view. Yep, our satellite is now, should be repositioned. So once we spend a few seconds stabilizing, yep, another contract completed. Another 49 grand plus, like I said, another, probably like 60 grand to do, or 70 grand to do that. Pretty close. Cool. All right, let's head back over to the Space Center. Well, you know what? Let me check something. This guy, nah, he's not going to be a good relay satellite. He's only got the one. So yeah, he just needs to take care of himself. All right, let's head back over and we can take a look at designing a new satellite. Okay, so let's take a look real quick at what we have. I guess the best way to do is maybe the tracking station. And there's a lot going on here. Yeah, and this time I want to go up into the right orbit, and I'm not sure which one it is, but we'll take a look. So this is agency. Well, we can usually tell. Yeah, let's take the contracts. There's our tourist, position satellite in a polar orbit. That's the one we want. So let's see. 7,000. So it's going to be this one. Good. That's a little bit more sane, right? So depending on which side of the planet we take off from, you know, we're going to go just due north and south, and it's just a pretty big orbit. But one of the reasons I want to do this contract in particular is now that we have some more money and everything, I want to get a good relay satellite going, right? A lot of our other ones, if we come back here, right, a lot of these other satellites are just have those old antennas on them, like the shorter range. So I want to try to see if we can't get like a, you know, way more fancy satellite into this orbit. That sound good? All right, so let's head back out of here for a second because we need to actually build this said ship. Leave facility. And we'll come into here, right? Now let's see, what do we have? We might as well start with something. You know, I know we don't need quite as much So what would be a good one to start? Unknown part modules. What? Why do we have all that? I did do some updates. Yeah, it wouldn't be puncher. It would probably be like, you know, these is missing. What do you, okay, yeah, that was the one of the updates I just did. Okay, well, yeah, like this, we can cut down on the number of engines we have here and redesign this bottom chunk, right? Yeah, let's take all of that off for a second. I'm going to take... Yeah, we're probably going to end... Let's trash this because I don't necessarily want that shape, right? And now that we have some more science, I think there's... You know what? Now that I think about it, let's just head back out. Yeah, don't save it. We can come back to that. I want to... Let's take a look at... I've kind of wanted this one before, right? I think it's electronics, yeah. See, we could possibly get some more better antennas. And it wouldn't hurt my feeling, you know, to get some of these antennas, like at least one on a relay satellite, right? Like, you know, where we can really go a long distance. All right, so let's just research this because I think we're going to need it anyway, right? There we go. So, and why not? We got the science at this point, so... There we go. Oh, what happened there? Let's, yeah, I'm not the tweak scale. That's a little upsetting, isn't it? Yeah, so let's do MIMSAT 3 should be... There we go. Yeah, so we're back to this. And I didn't want to lose my bottom pieces. Yeah, let's get rid of that so we can rescale that. And then... Yeah, see, I'm thinking... Oops, that didn't really attach to it. See, I think it's like this kind of thing that, you know, like if we... Oh, look at that, yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure I redid the mod, so let's go back to... Huh. Yeah, what happened to my mod tweak scale? I updated it. Let me go see, you know, give me a second here and I'll be right back. Okay, there you go. I went into the tweak scale. I don't know if you guys use CKAN, but if you do use that program, and you can actually go into the versions and like, it kind of looks more like a list, but you can actually select an older version potentially. And I reloaded up the older version and there we go. We're back to in business, right? So let's load this guy up and we'll go back to doing what we were doing a second ago. But the good news is we're back to being an aircraft, right? So let's take this guy and we're going to take him off. And let's see, did we actually, yeah, I didn't really do anything much. We should have our new relays. Now, part of the problem with these new relays is that they are, you know, potentially quite big, right? Like, you know, but I'm just wondering about getting one that's like really potentially real powerful, right? That one's not that much bigger. Now, what do we have on here? We have the KR7, which gets us 90 million. And I'm wondering if we couldn't do some of these guys. Now, how much, you know, they really don't cost that much more, do they? Now, this one does gig. Yeah, the cone angle, I've never quite figured out the cone angle. Like why, you know, does that mean we need more of them to cover everything? And then wouldn't you think it would like kind of point over where we need it to be anyway? Yeah, so let's take this guy off. Maybe we'll just put, you know, one of these guys, or do we put 3? Take our chances. Let's put, give me an X. Now this is kind of on the last, or no, there's no coupling in here. This is all just one big satellite mess, huh? So we could talk about more of them. I mean, we were being pretty cheap. But do we really need more? I don't know. But there's also no reason we couldn't do that, right? And you know what? We really wouldn't. Oh, wait. You know what? We're trying to get a contract done. Oh, look, we got, what is all this plus and... Oh, because that's all... That's right, because I held it off to the side. All right, so... Reach the orbit. Maintain stability. Please note this must have a new unmanned probe for moving parts. Yeah, they're not really... Just making sure they don't say anything about science, right? It can generate power. Well, we got 2 antennas, right? That should be enough. Now, that's the only other problem with these, is that they probably suck up a lot of... Well... No more power than the other ones did, but we got 2 more of them, so... You know, yeah, what is our... You know, the power drain will be... Yeah, show dark side calculations. It'll be 7,000 kilometers, right? Dark side. $10,000 required. And how much do we have there? 800. Yeah, we only have EC. No, we want dark side transit. We're not going to be on the... Yeah, so I think we're in... I think we're fine. I think we got way more than enough power that we need. And then, yeah, now that we have all of this, let's see about putting a new one of these shells, and I never know where these things are. Do we have, yeah, the coupler's on there, right? Or decoupler? Oops, I missed. Yeah, let's get that guy. Be a little easier maybe to see here, right? Oops, scroll up. Right? Now, the only other thing is because this guy, well, let's see, how far, one more, as crazy as this sounds, I know we probably don't, you know, we got, just to get a regular old communitron, how far does that, yeah, see, this guy would communicate back to the planet, and I don't think we have one on here, believe it or not, anywhere. Let's go back, Shift X to just put one. There you go. So that guy, that guy should keep us, you know, communicating throughout anything. Like not necessarily, and then the rest of it will be for like relaying, in particular, like to other satellites. We should be able to select all kinds of targets. Maybe a little bit of overkill here, but let's see. Now the other thing is, yeah, let's put this guy back on. And we have, you know, potentially better rocket technology at that point, but this is definitely enough to get us well out of our own thing. Now, do we want to... Yeah, I mean, this was taking us all the way out to Minmus. I think this will be pretty good. You know, I mean, it's probably overkill. We could probably calculate better exactly how much we need, but... Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to just go with this and see what happens. So we're going to call this Polar Orbit 2. How's that sound? Sounds very boring, I know. All right, let's go. Yeah, let's turn off AmpYear and shrink contracts. Not that it matters. Yep, let's head out to the launch site and see. We'll at least get out there. We might have to wait a little while before we're ready to go. Oops, hit the wrong button. Okay, so let's close Kerbal alarm clock and let's we're gonna close the engineer. All right, so now that we're on the launch site, we can actually get back off and head over to, I think the tracking station, right? Or no, you know what we could have done? We could have, never mind. Where is our, get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Yeah, where are we at? Is this it? Yeah, Polar Orbit 2. Yeah, we want to launch here, right? Yeah, let's turn off some stuff. Yeah, I don't think it, but it is a relay. So that's going to be right here under this blue symbol. Yeah, if we launch now, let's wait till we would have to launch to the south, right? Or no, we're spinning, we're spinning this way. So we would launch more or less right to the south when we got to this point. And if we go back to our alarms, we don't have anything, nothing within a period of time, right? So let's see about just fast forwarding time until our space center gets in line with this green line here, pretty close to it. We're right there. Again, as long as we're close, you don't want to be like 10 miles away. Yeah, can I move? Yeah, so sometimes the mouse is so sensitive. And then, like I say, this one's going up and over and then down. So we're going to want to fly down when we get up there. We just have to remember that. So so that we'll head in the right direction, right? Yeah, I don't want to fast forward too much faster, especially now that we're getting closer. And we've got to leave ourselves a little bit of time too, right? Just so that we're not. Yeah, I think that's pretty good right there. Like I said, that'll be close enough. I'm sure they could scientifically calculate it better at NASA, but here at RASA, we're doing okay. All right, so let's leave the facility and head back over. Okay, here we are. So we want to come over here to our flight computer, right, and get this guy ready. And at a certain point, we want to change his heading. So right now, his heading, if we were to do this, would set us off to 90, right? But we don't want to go to 90. We want to go to 180. So I am going to click custom there. Now, sometimes the ships will, you'll see them like vibrate around. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But then now that we have that set up, what I want to do is change our pitch to 80. Now, I'm not going to do anything with that, right? Because I just want him to go straight up for a little while. But then once we get to a certain point, I'll hit custom again, and then he should go. So let's get our controller ready just so we can work our throttle. Now, the other thing I didn't really look at enough, but we'll set this to 2/3 because I think I tend to remember that. But we really didn't look at our delta V, did we? Oh, we can do it here. That's right. I forgot they got this fancy Yeah, 0.39 is good, and then this is the one I'm worried about. Yeah, about 2/3 will be 1, right? If that makes sense. So maybe we want to be a little bit, let's do 3/4 because we don't necessarily want to slow down. All right, well, let's see what happens when we click the launch button. 3, 2, 1, go. See how he's rotating around? So we should rotate around to 180. We want to get, going up a little bit. It's a pretty big and awkward ship here. We want to get up over to around 150 or so. Hit custom again. Tilted now because our heading is 180. We're heading down to 180. We'll just be patient with this, but let's also change this to 70. Get up to about 300, we'll hit that. Yeah, now we're burning pretty nicely, nice and stable. We'll just wait till we get the apoapsis. Well, we need to stage here and all, but once we get the apoapsis to about 90. This timed apoapsis to get up too high. It means you're not burning too efficiently, but we can probably even switch this over to 60 at this point. Start burning a little bit more towards getting into an orbit here. And there we go. Let's just cut it off for a second. Quick get over. Oops. Why isn't it letting me get in the map mode? There we go. Quick get over here. Oh, that's not working out quite as well as I had hoped. Add maneuver. There we go. And I want to get that lined up here. So let's turn this guy. It's definitely better to do this when you're when your orbit's smaller. All right, there we go. So how much? Let's go to the node because it'll take it a while to get there. Execute. Yeah, at least we'll start burning and then we'll go. But we got to get the burn going, right? All right. So now let's head back over here. Yeah, we're out of the atmosphere. Antenna. Hopefully that worked out. Let's take a look. We're not going to have to stage, which is good, but that should burn us and get us right in line. Now, are we heading the right direction? Yep, it looks that way. Let's hope so anyhow, right? Let's take a look from this end. Yeah, we're gonna make it. Even when you set up these maneuver nodes, sometimes you don't know. And I was real hasty. I don't know. Was I right on the apoapsis? It certainly seems like we'll be okay. How much? Yeah, let's take a look at our Kerbal Engineer. We still have a good amount of delta V in the craft, so we should be in pretty good shape. We're in an orbit. Yep, and we got enough. Oh, apoapsis height went way high, didn't it? That's all right. Like I said, I was in a hurry. So let's head back over to here. And let's see, how did we do? Well, we got into space anyway, right? That's always a sort of like when you're in an airplane, don't complain about a good landing. Any landing is a good landing. Nobody dies. All right, so let's move, even though I want to burn Yeah, see, I want to burn a little bit more up here, right? Where we're, like, I want to point right through the center of the planet. And that's pretty close, right? Yep. So what we'll do now is we want to get up to 7674. So we're going to burn prograde quite a bit. And we can adjust this a little bit, of course, right? But that gets us, well, look at that, 7674, pretty darn close. All right, let's 76. One word back down. All right, there we go. So there's our, well, why doesn't that look? No, it does look right. Or does it? Oh, 76. Yeah, 7674. Okay, so we're off a little bit. Yeah, well, we'll adjust that when we get out there, right? It might even be close enough for the contract as it is. All right, so let's hit execute. And that happens in 17 minutes. Let's take a quick look here because we should be, yeah, no, nothing else to do. So let's just go ahead and, now the next time it'll take a while to get to the next one. Yeah, let's even do 100 times. Zoom in on where we're at. And let's go, oh, you know what we need to do? We need to come here and extend all solar panels. Yeah, how does that look? Does it look all, no, you know, very reasonable. Yeah, that's a heck of a satellite we got going on. Yeah, and this is taking forever to get moved over there. So I don't want to fast forward because it doesn't let you do your maneuver, and you can see how we're still spinning around. There we go. So we should have everything in pretty good shape. Where's the... Yeah, we just have a lot of maneuvering to do there. Let's have a sip of coffee for that reason. Yeah, we're getting there. Over to prograde. Now the next, like I said, the next one will be a lot closer. Unfortunately, yeah. Now this, well, we could say no target active vessel, right? And then what I'm interested in is this guy should stay, you know, I think I'm going to tend to actually put this one, this top one, if we ever have one, to the active vessel. And let's put these two, mid-orb sat 1, and then mid-orb sat 2. Now, I'm hoping those all connect. Yeah, now we're going to have to stage here, so it's good that we're in this one. Yeah, that's quite a bit of delta V to get out there. The next burn should be a little bit less, right? This is like, picture getting yourself all the way up in the air, right? Once you're up in the air, it's a little bit easier to get going sideways, so to speak. Yeah, let's close this. All right, we're pointing at that. Let's just fast forward for a little. Oh, no, we don't want to. Yeah, 27 seconds is going to burn. All right. Well, we might as well wait at this point. We can hold on for 20 seconds, right? Yeah, that's a heck of a satellite we're building. It's like a porcupine. I didn't really save it, though, did I? I should have saved it. Well, it'll auto-save, so we should go back in there. Because that, if it works out well, it's, you know, be able to relay a lot of things. Right? So I'm going to get ready to stage here. much as I had hoped extra, but it's good. We don't want a ton extra in a sense, right? Let's see, how are we doing on this? Should be fine. Like this isn't some critical maneuver, in the sense of if you don't do it fast enough, some bad things will happen. It should be. Let's see if it stops us. Right? It should look like we're doing a good thing. In a minute, we'll know if we even have enough fuel. Close. Yeah, I can live with that for now. So let's come over to here and add a maneuver. Burning prograde. Oops. Yeah, and see, some of this we might be able to adjust a little bit, right? Like the way we did before. Right, periapsis is 7.2, and they want it to be 7.3. So let's to get it to 7.3 just for the sake of it, and then we'll talk about burning. Let's see what anti-normal does for us. Nope, or axial. I keep saying normal. Really want to adjust that too much, not until we're at the, yeah, let's go over to here. No, yeah, put that back to 0. Right, and then come back to here, and I want to do this. There we go. So that'll put us right pretty much where we need to be, that direction, right? Very good. Execute. 4 hours. So let's go take a look at what that means to our Kerbal alarm clock system. Yeah. So we have, it always seems that they need to conflict, right? All right, very good. So, well, let's let's get a bunch of stuff done this one. So this is Polar Orbit 2. Yeah, we'll get this one done. So we're going to do, I don't think there's anything else that's going to hurt if we warp all the way around there and get this guy done, right? We got everything looking good here, right? And we could do a materials study. There we go. We're starting to slow down now. And this guy should be able to spin around much more quickly. Though I do like to get in line with the node a lot of times. There we go. So delete, on, close. Yeah, 330. So see how that, it takes a lot less. Now it's also, if you think about it, it's a lot less of a vehicle because we detached a large portion of our mass there, right? All right, so let's fast forward until, let's see, what is the burn time? 1 minute. So we don't want to cut it too close. And you can always, I know you guys can't see here, but I can always look up at this one. Get it down to about 20 seconds or so. There we go. And this might even get us close enough. What is this? World first milestone. Oh, flyby min-miss. Oh, okay, because we actually got into Mimis's orbit or close to it. Now there's something else that I noticed about that contract. I don't know if I counted. So there we go. So we're burning. Let's go back over here and see what happens. There's a big mess. We got our little blue line right there. This isn't the biggest engine, but again, like there's no real criticality to all of this, right? It's not, if it takes you a little bit of extra burning, it's certainly not the end of the world for us. close enough. We might have to burn, you know, when we get to our ascending or descending node just to get us back in line if we're not quite close enough. No, it's on the borderline, isn't it? Probably. Yep, see that now the contract thing goes away, so here, let's get rid of this one. Then I'll bet you in 10 seconds or something we get, yep, contract completed. 88,000. And in some ways even more important, we now have another potential relay satellite, right? That's, you know, a good distance away, and it's, we certainly, are we communicating with anybody? Like you would think. Yeah, that's low orbsat. And what is this one? Mid orbsat 2. Like, why? Yeah, let's go. Can we? Oh, is that already open? Isn't that where we open it from? Or do we have to open it? Yeah, I thought that would be where we would open it from, but. Yeah, so this is where I get a little confused with all these antennas, but we'll. This one's on active vessel. Now, I don't want you on active vessel. I want you to do like mid-orbsat 2 if you can. No? All right, let's try another one over here. What is this one? This one's on mid-orbs. Maybe that's just mid-orbsat 3. Mid-orbsat 1. How about low orbsat 1? We'll try you on low orbsat 2. Yeah, so what I'm wondering is, am I not paying enough attention to, you know, like the G's or whatever they call them in a sense? Like, in other words, you know, is this a 4G network kind of thing versus, you know, if we were to look at this satellite, does it not have the right stuff to communicate with this one? Like, we should have put a more basic dish on there. So I want to take a look into that. You know, and again, this will still provide useful, like, at some point there with all those things. Like, we'll make it work one way or the other, but, like, yeah, anyway, why does that keep popping in and out? All right, let's head back over to the Space Center and see how much time is left in the recording. Okay, let's take a look at our Kerbal alarm clock. We're getting a little long in the tooth here on the episode, but I think we'd like to do the MIMMISAT maneuver. But like I said, I noticed something, possibly want to do it. The problem is we need to get into a low space, and then we need to, like, if you look, destination the sun. So this is going to be a little bit kind of complicated and probably more than we can do. But let's go ahead and in this episode, we'll just get it into low space, right? We probably should have tried to get a little closer before, but, you know, we're going to have to change this maneuver, I think. And then we're going to, when they say destination sun, I think they just mean an orbit around the sun, right? Let's go ahead and just see if we can't jump to this ship. And we'll take a close look at MIMMIS, hopefully, right? Yeah, now see, now that we're out here, can we pick our polar, like this is what I'm curious about, polar orbit 2. Yeah, and if we look at this dish range, energy, yeah, I'm not sure why it's not communicating, right? Like, do they have to be the same type dish range? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, so we need to find somebody that we can communicate with. There we go. Mid-Orbsat 3. Well, that's good. All right, so at least we can communicate with somebody, right? And then, yeah, let's close this, open this. Tell him to go to the node because it always makes me feel better before I start fast forwarding. So we got 13 minutes. So let's just, we can do that pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm going to have to conduct a few more experiments and read up a little bit more on why these satellites aren't all communicating with each other a little bit better. And again, I don't doubt that they're, you know, that it's that complicated, or I don't think it's that complicated. I think I'm just missing something, you know, relatively simple. So we'll come back in the next episode and we'll finish maneuvering this guy. Yeah, 1 minute. Let me focus in on our time here so I don't go past it. There we go. All right, good. So we should start burning. Retrograde here. Slow us down. Let's take a look at what that means, right? So we're burned like this, we would just end up, you know, leaving the planet. It's kind of hard to see. Sometimes these lines. So we basically blasted our way out here, and now because we went out quickly, we have to slow ourselves back down and get into an actual orbit. World first milestone. We have entered an orbit of Minmus. Very good. A few extra bucks for that. Yeah, so I think in order to save some fuel, what we'll do when we come back in the next episode is we'll add a maneuver here where we're going to burn, I don't know what they consider low in space, but we're going to burn retrograde, right? And get awful close. Yeah, let's get down to like 20. Oops, that's probably less than 20. Yeah, we don't want to hit the surface. Yeah, 20 some should be. Now you got to watch out too sometimes because it's like it's not necessarily from the center, right? So you don't want to end up hitting a mountain that's on there or something because you go so low. Just because there's no atmosphere and you can skim the surface, but that should definitely get us down to low. And you know the reason I wanted to do that is I don't want to. Like right now, our periapsis is much lower than our apsilapsis, and I want to make sure we have enough fuel to, you know, to get back out and into some kind of a. We need to escape Kerbal, and we need to get, you know, going in an orbit around the sun, right? So we'll see how that works out. Okay, guys. Well, I think the episode's long enough. I wish I had more time, but yeah, I just want to keep these a little bit short. All right. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll do some more maneuverings in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.